My name's Julian Finucane, and today I'm going to be explaining moraines. So, starting with a simple definition, moraines are masses of sediment deposited by a glacier, typically along its edges or its end. And so in this image you can see two moraines here, formed by a glacier that receded in this direction. So there's two types of moraines that have to do with the end of the glacier, terminal and recessional moraines. Terminal moraines are the original end of the glacier where all that sediment and that flow is deposited, and then as the glacier recedes, it'll form more recessional moraines in its path, and you can see if the glacier was receding in this direction, there would be another moraine forming right here. So for example, you have the terminal moraines here, and then as the glacier moves back, you have the recessional moraine here. The other two types of moraines are lateral and medial. Lateral form along the edges, that side deposits, and the medial form as two glaciers come together and their sediments and their paths start to collide. So in this image you can see you have lateral moraines up here and at the bottom, and the medial moraine forming in the middle. You can see this kind of upward hill in between them. So an easy thing to compare this to is tire tracks. If the tire is the glacier, it's pushing up sediment to the side and leaving these lateral moraines. And then another thing you can compare it to is snow plows, which I'm sure you know from Wisconsin winters, with the lateral moraines as it pushes sediment to the side, and then terminal moraines as it leaves a pile at the end of the path. I found this PhET simulation that does a great job of showing the sediment flow and the equilibrium line. So this darker gray zone is where the glacier melts into outwash, and you can see the toe being deposited at the end, forming a terminal moraine. And when I change the conditions to increase the length of the glacier, that terminal moraine is washed out and a new terminal moraine starts to form at the end. Unfortunately, this simulation doesn't show lateral moraines, but as you can see where I changed the conditions here to decrease the length of the moraine and have it recede, it starts to form a recessional moraine in addition to the terminal moraine it had already formed. One last thing I wanted to add was these maps of Wisconsin, the glaciers, and then these red points are all the moraines that it left behind. And over here there's a medial moraine, and this is actually Kettle Moraine State Forest. So if you're ever on that side of the state, it's a beautiful state forest and a great place to visit. So I hope you learned a lot during this video.